I just want to share a recent trip I took with Chris Williams, who's part of the club here. He invited me on this trip, and it was going to be a 2.5-day trip, nearly 1,200 miles, and our plan was to catch a lot of redeye bass. That was the target species on this trip. So there are 7 redeye bass species. We were going to be fortunate to have an opportunity about 4 of them being in the area that we were going to be located. And another interesting species was going to be the red-breasted sunfish, which was going to be a qualifier for the sun catch. Some, usual suspect target species is a little bit of litter that we're going to show throughout the presentation, just a little bit of what we were able to come up with in the 2.5 days. And then we were just on the hunt for anything else that was biting, and of course some good times. So where were we going to head to on this 2.5-day adventure? Well, we were going to start off on Friday afternoon visiting Mobile, Alabama. There was an event that was coordinated by a local fly shop there, the Lost Angler. Peter runs that shop out of Daphne, Alabama. It's also a guided service. So they were hosting an event, and that was our plan, to stop there on the first night. Then the Saturday morning, it was going to lead us into Tallapoosa watershed that's going to be shaded in red on the eastern side of Alabama. It's going to be kind of, Auburn was a target area for us there. And we're going to slowly make our way through Saturday and Sunday across Alabama, going northwest towards the Coosa watershed, which is in Aqua here. And we were going to stay in Birmingham, which we would then land around the Coosa watershed, the Warrior watershed and the Cahaba, which the Warrior's in purple and Cahaba is going to be in green. That was our target area for the Sunday evening event. So this is our Friday afternoon. We stopped at the Tin Cup Challenge. As I mentioned, Peter for Lost Angler was putting on that fly shop. That was a really cool event to attend. I met a lot of great people. Chris knew a lot of people already there and kind of broke the ice for me on a lot of occasions. This was actually a great opportunity for me to get involved in casting. There was a competition that allowed us to have opportunity to win some prizes. It was laid out with a few targets at 10, 40, and 60 feet, and there was just some points involved in that. I was lucky enough to hit the first target at 10 feet 3 times, and that racked me up some good points to qualify me and place in some final games that I ended up winning 3rd place. This spot was really nice to, one, wet our tongues with some great beer, but make some connections in the fly fishing community, which for me is very new. And then on another side that I'm passionate about, and it's growing from being exposed to the community here, was conservation. At this meeting, I was able to connect with a guy named William from Mobile Baykeepers. They're doing some great work out there to help preserve waterways and clean up, and they're really trying to pursue the side of accountability, holding construction companies liable, or at least attempt to pursue something towards keeping up with whatever waste they're throwing out that's ultimately landing in the water that we enjoy, which is an important piece to why we have to protect it. So, a few beers in, a couple prizes here won. We were probably ready to call it a night, which we did, and woke up early Saturday morning. Before we arrived at this stop, we had a mandatory stop at a Buc-ee's in Auburn. We picked up some burritos to get us started with some fuel. That was much needed. And then we pulled up here at our first spot. This was a waterway in the Tallapoosa watershed. Very skinny water. It was sandy, kind of scattered deep holes throughout. Here in the first picture on the left, that's the first hole where Chris was able to catch some fish, and he called me a few minutes later after we'd split and told me to get over there. Well, this was really unique for me. I hadn't been in an environment like this, so everything was very new. I was just wide-eyed and just having fun exploring here. A little bit more about this waterway here. It was very slow moving. Although there was some good clarity, that was because it was shallow. It was just very slow and at points a bit stagnant. It was difficult. The fish could see us coming and they were spooking after a few couple tries, but we were able to get on some red breasted sunfish, and Chris right there with the Tallapoosa bass that he caught in that hole. That was really a fun spot to get the morning started. This picture here in the middle, back at this hole on the left, on our way back out, I was able to key in on a school of fish biting, but it had to be precisely on the slow drift that Chubby was getting dragged. And if it was in that line, they were coming to hit it. It just took a little bit of trial and error, a little frustration, and figuring it out. But it was fun to get started here with the target species that we had in mind. Here's a little bit of what we were able to collect on the spot one. That was just from walking from the truck to the spot and then back. Just something to fill our hands. And this is a cool little video of a snapping turtle we caught moving through that water. That's just kind of one of the beauties in being out there, and one of the things that I'd like to protect is that water where they're living. Let me get back to here. So after that, we did end up hitting one more spot. I didn't put any pictures on there, but it was a dud. We really didn't catch much at that spot. I did catch this red-breasted sunfish here on the top right with the damsel. I'm gonna pass around what we were using, or what I was using, so you guys could see that. So Saturday evening, we had about a 3-hour drive from the spot that I was just showing you guys to get up into this zone right here, where we were at a higher elevation, a different terrain where it was a lot rockier, cooler weather, and we were able to stop roadside on this first. We stopped at this middle section where it's a wide opening, much better than where we were just at. A lot of slick rock in there. When we approached that spot, we spotted a few nice sized bass right in front of us, but approaching them was really hard, and they spooked away. Chris had an opportunity to throw at them. I moved further down where I was able to take this picture, but I didn't have any luck until we reached the second spot, which was in the mountains. We pulled off the road. There was a lot better water flow rushing through downhill, and it was a great little spot. Good formations here on the rocks, little caves. I mean, you could probably take a splunk in here if you wanted to. It's nice, cool water. Here I was able to get on some green sunfish and a bass. I think it's an Alabama bass. It could be a Coosa. Not sure. None of these pictures of mine were identified by someone certified, so just take it. There you go. But that was fun. That little guy was behind a rock, and the hothead orange bead that you guys see in there, it's what got him. It was just on a drift, and he was hungry. After that, I got a little picture of him. I thought this was interesting as I was examining this guy. You'll see what I saw. Real pretty.
It's got white tip fins. I mean, it's got red eye characteristics.
But in there,
Bug in there?
yeah, it was a spider.
No way.
Yeah. And I said that out loud, you can't hear, but yeah, it was a spider. It was munching. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. Good area there.
So did you grow spiders after that?
I did it. I didn't switch up what I was using. All right, after that, it was getting pretty late, as you guys can probably see in these later pictures here. It's kind of getting dull. We called it a night. We'd been on the road for a long time. It was time to get some grub and hit the hay for a Sunday morning that was going to be eventful. And it started right here under this bridge. This was now going to be considered the warrior bass territory, which we were going to be targeting. We stopped at this bridge because the park we were going to wasn't open yet, so it just gave us an opportunity to wet our lines and get active. It was a really fishy looking spot. From above that bridge, we could see some big sized bass down at that pool, and that's where we were headed. This middle section, it's an area where I was able to land around 12 sunfish just schooled up in a little deep pool off the right hand side under some trees. I was just throwing the damsel. It would sink for a little bit and they were on it. The picture on the right is a picture outside of the parking lot of the Turkey Creek Preservation Nature Preserve. Really nice water there, big deep pools. That's a swimming hole people enjoy, but there was a fly angler there that beat us to this spot. And he had been catching some bass, but once people start moving in there, they get skittish, and you got to kind of move towards the waterfall that we didn't make it to, but there's one down there. So these are the warrior bass we were able to get a hold of right under that bridge. Really good spot in the nature preserve where we were at. We were seeing a lot of fish, but none of them were taking anything. This is a really funny story that Chris that happened with Chris here. That's a very nice sized fish and was one of the ones that we saw from above. He had landed it, and as he was going to lip it or pull it over, I can't remember, it threw the fly and this fish went flopping. It landed in between some rocks after some chaos. He was able to put a hand on it and get a hold of it. But that was a really nice size one that we were fortunate to get a picture of. This little guy on the bottom, he was one of the smaller ones. I think also a warrior that I was able to pick up, and then further down where I was fishing that I caught the sunfish, I was able to land this other warrior bass. They're beautiful fish. They're so beautiful. And they hit pretty good. They hit good.
Yeah, Ken will appreciate this, but a 12-inch redeye is a trophy.
This was some other species that I was able to come up with on that same waterway of that Turkey Creek waterway. A creek chub, a striped shiner, and that green sunfish that I was telling you guys I was kind of got on school on. Now, after that spot, our last target species that we were looking to hunt was that Cahaba bass, and this really took us into a really beautiful place to go and target these species. I mean, this habitat, as you can see, water flowing through it very calmly, very picturesque, a lot of greenery around. This was a little spot that Peter from the Fly Angling Shop let us know about. Really good, and glad we went to it because it did produce some good sized fish. I'm still always shocked at how pretty this fish is, the pigmentation on it. But I think this is a Cahaba on the left and Alabama on the right, or they could be both. But we were able to land these couple more on poppers. That's what did it out there. They were hungry. So along the way, we were able to scoop up litter at literally every spot, just coming in and out. And the fun funny thing is we didn't really even need to buy anything to put it in, because we were finding bags that we were just stashing. You know, this big bag on the left, I found it, and then we ended up filling it. After that first spot, you know, I told Chris, I said, hey, let's make this cleanup thing as well. Let's give back what we're taking advantage of, and let's just see what we come up with at the end of the trip. And that's kind of what we did, and it didn't take much effort, and we got a lot accomplished, and I really felt happy about leaving on Sunday. An area that's not even mine, you know. This is another state apart. So that leads me to sack up for clean waters. You know, what is sack up for clean waters? Sack up is an initiative encouraging all to add a little trash collection routine to an outdoor outings, whatever you may be doing. You know, and how do you get involved in something like this? It's very easy. You can be prepared or not. Like I told you, I find bags when I walk. So if you decide to carry one on you, cool, that's awesome. If not, you may run into one. You know, trash is a problem for me. I know that. I don't let it kill my vibe. You know, it's going to be there. Other people are going to do what they do. My point of view is, if I can educate you on not to do it, and maybe you don't, and then we pick it up together, you know, we're both winning here. It should enhance an experience for you. I think you, as a person, can leave better and leave the spot better, and when you go back, it's much better than how you left it. And that's what got me started. I'd gone to co-meet a lot. I'd walked over trash a lot. And then I decided to pick up some trash. And I felt good about it. The next time, I landed fish. I was like, well, maybe that's my luck. Maybe I'm picking up my luck out here. So, you know, I started incorporating that into my practice. And little bit by little, as I was leaving, I was just taking a couple of things. And it started to grow on me. And getting to know you guys and getting to be more involved, I wanted to kind of share that experience with the club and have you guys join in on it, just through hearing about it. You know, it's possible to do it. What I would say is my little tips at the bottom. You know, stick to the cans, stick to the plastic bottles, the styrofoam. Don't pick up anything that is fishy. You know, leave it there. But something's better than nothing, in my point of view. These are some pictures that I'd like to share with you guys. This picture on the top left is what really got me started. This was at the co-meet. I was walking up on the waterway and I saw a strand of bubble wrap just all entangled on the waterway in the tree. And this is somewhere I needed to cross to get across on the other side of the sandbank. I saw it there, I left it. As I came back, I scooped it up and I took it with me. You know, that really got me going. Other pictures from picking up the co-meet, this tent was left there, just people having fun, and I get it. I like to have fun and do that, but carry it out. You know, it takes nothing to carry it in, and it takes nothing to carry it out. So, you know, we had some participants here from the club. Brian, I appreciate you picking up some trash on the way out. That was really cool. Ben had his children scoop up some trash. I hear that's a good way to get them tired and help them.
You should like tell them not to pick up the sharp things.
Yeah.
I'll take care of those. You all pick up the other stuff.
And you know, it's funny because Chris told me a story that he knew somebody that made this a game for their kids. You know, it starts in simple ways, and it's something that we all can do. So, an upcoming event that I have a volunteer form for, or just a sign up form so I know who's coming. This is kind of just a fishing event that I'd like to know if anybody would be interested. It's going to be at Burbank at that pond. It's just for fishing, but if we see trash, I mean, we can haul it off as well. I only plan to probably be available a couple hours in the morning, 8 to 10, however long. But what I'm going to try to do is bring some grabbers or whatnot, a couple bags, and we just have a good time fishing. And if we can scoop something up, you know, that'd be a win. So other ways that I've been getting involved that we can, as a club, be involved in is with organizations like CRCL, restoring oyster reefs. They do a mangrove planting throughout October, November. They do wetland reforestation that's coming up. BREC does a good conservation events. I've partnered with them in this middle picture. That was my first experience to cleaning waterways through BREC. This was at Bayou Manchac. They put up a new kayak launch there that people use, but that was a day that we were able to use it to gather trash that was in those waterways, and we did a pretty good job. Another new organization I ran into is Clean Pelican. Their motto is clean land, clean water. I thought, whoa, shit, that hits the head. So, you know, those are, I'm exposing myself to those and hoping to bring a little bit of that into the club, let you guys know about it so that we can get active and kind of get back to what we're taking advantage of, which is having fun out there and catching fish. I have a volunteer form that I'd like to share somehow, maybe put it on our website or email it to you guys. It's just a list of events that are available throughout the end of the year. I will be at them, so if you sign up, you know, I'll be there and we can kind of coordinate a carpool and whatnot to go to these things. But I also have some questions in there to find out what waterways are important to you. What do you want to see cleaned up? You know, how do you want to get involved in these areas of conservation while you're having fun, while you're catching fish? A lot of the information about the Redeye Bass that I found was through Ben Ruzel's blog. He's done a great job keeping up with that. Mountains to Marsh. Chris Williams, you know, he invited me on this trip. He did a lot of the scouting. He did all the driving. It was, you know, I recommend him to go on a trip with you. And you know, another way to just get informed about what species there are is just ask around. You know, club members here have been really open to me. I've appreciated that. I've gotten to know you guys and take trips like this. You know, I'm looking forward to going to Belize, you know, with Ben, with Ken and on his trip. So I think we can have a lot more fun, but thank you guys.
Thank you.